Hello students. So we are going to start with a new chapter. The name of the chapter is Propositional Logic. So it is chapter number 3 on your textbook. So propositional logic, you can see that there are two units associated with the propositional logic. Okay. So chapter 3, it is propositional logic. Okay, let's see what is a proposition. So we can say a proposition is an atomic sentence. So proposition is an atomic sentence. The specialty of this atomic sentence is that the result of this atomic sentence, it can be either true or false. So we can define a proposition as a proposition is an atomic sentence that can either be true or false. So on the screen you can see some examples for proposition. See, India is a country. So we know that the result is true, right? And another proposition, 100 is greater than 200. So 100 is greater than 200. So its result will be false, right? So see some other propositions such as how are you or what is your name. These are not propositions because the answer for these questions are not true or false. So when the answer for the questions are true or false, then we can say it is a proposition. Okay. But now we are going to see type of proposition. So there are mainly two types of proposition. One is the simple proposition and the second one is the compound proposition. So a simple proposition means it is an atomic sentence that can give you either true or false. That means it's a simple proposition only. It contains no other parts, right? Then for example, see, it is raining. That is a simple proposition. So what is a compound proposition? A compound proposition means it is made up of more than one simple proposition. So compound proposition means it is made up of more than one simple proposition. So here you can see on the screen, today is Sunday and Sunday is a holiday. So this is an example for a compound proposition, right? So today is Sunday is a simple proposition and Sunday is a holiday, that is another proposition. These two propositions are joined together to form the compound proposition. Okay. So here we can see that in order to form the compound proposition, we are using some operators. So we are using some operators. We call these operators are logical connectives. So we use logical connectives to form compound propositions. So here we can see the different type of connectives we used in propositional logic. The first one is disjunctive, also called OR operator. Second one is conjunctive, also called the AND operator. Then we have conditional and biconditional and negation operators. So on the screen you can see there are 5 different type of logical connectives discussed. Now we are going to see each of them, right? First we can see the disjunctive, then we can see the conjunctive, like that. So we can see all these connectives one by one. Okay. So first we can discuss about disjunctive operator. So disjunctive operator, you can see that it is also called an OR operator. So what is the meaning of this disjunctive operator? So it is used for forming compound propositions. It means that one of the two arguments, suppose two arguments are there, one of the two arguments is true or both may be true. So we use the word or the plus symbol or the V symbols to represent disjunctive. So examples you can see that P plus Q, P, that V symbol Q and P or Q. This all means or this all represent the disjunctive operator. So where P and Q are simple propositions. So here we can see two arguments or two propositions. Proposition P stands for October 21st, 2012 was Sunday, and Q, which is another proposition, which is Sunday is a holiday. So P plus Q, which means that October 21st, 2012 was Sunday, or Sunday is a holiday, right? So in this case we can say that either October 21st, 2012 was Sunday, or Sunday is a holiday, or both may be true, right? Okay, now we are going to see the conjunctive operator. So the conjunctive operator means it is also called the AND operator. So which means that both the arguments are true, right? So we use the word AND. We use the word and the AND symbols you can see on the screen. So all these symbols means P and Q. So we use P dot Q, P and Q, right? This all means that P and Q are simple propositions. We joined using the AND operator to make it as a compound proposition. See the proposition P, which means that October 21st, 2012 was Sunday, and Q, Sunday is a holiday. So then P dot Q. So P dot Q means both P and Q are true. So that is, we can read it as October 21st, 2012 was Sunday, and Sunday is a holiday. So which means that it will return true when all these propositions are true only, right? Now we can see the conditional operator. So this conditional operator, it is also called the implication. So let P and Q are two propositions. So when we use the conditional operator to form or to create the compound proposition, so P and Q are individual proposition, then we can read it as P implies Q, which means that P implies Q is a compound proposition connected using the conditional operator, right? So here you can see two propositions, P and Q. The examples we are using here, 10 is greater than 0, which is one proposition, and another proposition is 10 is positive. So P implies Q. P implies Q means if 10 is greater than 0, then 10 is positive. So we can read the compound proposition as if 10 is greater than 0, then 10 is positive, right? This means that if P is true, then Q is also true. Okay. Now we have the biconditional operator, biconditional or equivalence operator, right? So equivalence means either both arguments are true or both are false. So we use the double-sided arrow to represent the biconditional operator. Okay. So P biconditional Q or P equivalence Q means that P and Q either both are true or both are false. So whenever P and Q are false, it will return true, and whenever P and Q are true, then also it will return true. Okay, here you can see the example for the biconditional operator P and Q. P is 10 greater than 0 and Q is 10 is positive. So P biconditional Q or P equivalence Q means that 10 is greater than 0 and 10 is positive. So in this case we can say either both are true or both are false, right? So it will return true whenever both are true or both are false. That means whenever the both values are same, then only it will return a true. Okay. The last one is the negation. It is also called the not operator. Actually, the negation is not a compound proposition, but it is used in both simple propositions as well as the compound propositions. Right? So we can see the different type of symbols we use to represent the negation. So P bar, P slash, these are some different notations we use to represent the negation. Right? Suppose P is it is raining. So negation P means it is not raining. Suppose if P is true, then the negation of P which will be false. Okay. So negation which can be applied on both simple proposition as well as the compound proposition. It will return the negated value, that is the opposite value. Suppose if P is true, the negation of P means it will false. Okay.